Hey guys, Mix here, and in today's video we are back with the new Yamaha Breeze. And in today's video we're going to be continuing on from last video when I introduced you guys to the new quad and we began to attempt to try and get it running. Last video, as you guys know, what we did is we fixed the electrical issue with finding an internally snapped fuse which was causing no power to get throughout the quad. Also, we have a new battery in there, so now that we have lights and the engine does crank over, saw that it has very nice spark, and then we began to disassemble the carburetor, which was absolutely filthy. But in doing that and taking apart the carb, the needle valve was stuck in the carb, and just from trying to pry that thing out, it ended up just breaking. So I went ahead and ordered a new one, which is right here. So we're going to be taking it out of the box, putting it into the carb, slapping the carb back onto the engine, and hopefully this thing will fire up. So guys, let's get right into it and start getting this quad ready to go. Alright, so we'll just do a quick little unboxing. Nothing really exciting to see, you know, just a needle valve. But we'll both do the first look together, because why not? And there it is. So here's a closer look at the new needle valve. Nothing much to see, but let's get to installing it into the carburetor, and then we'll get to installing it back onto the engine. So now that the carburetor is all put back together, let's slap it back onto the intake manifold and airbox boot, turn on the fuel, and hope that this thing will fire. The carburetor is finally on. It definitely was a little bit challenging because, I mean, there is a lot of room to work in here, but from the manifold to the intake boot, there is not a lot of play. So I did have to take off the intake boot just to get it on. So it definitely took a little bit of finagling, but it is on, and I have fuel in the gas tank. I still need to hook up the fuel line, just remembered, so I'll do that quick, and then we'll turn on the fuel and try and crank it up. So I just threw on the fuel line, so now let's turn on the fuel. Hopefully we don't have any leaks. But once I let the fuel drain in a little bit and I just check it over for leaks, as I just said, it's finally time to start it up. Alrighty guys, so we do have a leak coming out of the overflow right in the bottom there, or the drain. So that screw might be loose, or I could just try and hit it with the hammer a couple times. Well, the screw feels nice and tight, so I'll just try and hit the carb with a hammer. Maybe the float got stuck. By hammer, I just mean the end of a screwdriver. Fuel is on. I'm not seeing any leakage. I guess the float just might have got stuck. But guys, I'm not going to do starter fluid or anything. I'm just going to see if it'll suck up the gas and start up just straight on fuel. But let's try this out. So I'm actually going to check the oil real quick. I totally forgot about that. We got perfect amount of oil. Alrighty, now it is time. Alright. Choke is on. Key is on. Oh, kill switch is on. Here we go. Nothing. Let me try no choke. Alright, nothing. Might need a little bit starter fluid to get it going again. I believe it's been 5 years since this thing has last ran, so it might need to get back in its cycle with a little bit of help with starter fluid. So I'll just spray a little down in the intake, and hopefully it'll fire up now. Alrighty, take two. Oh, I heard something. It's about to happen, I can tell. Woo! It's running. Sounds sick. Oh my god. Yes. All right. The item might need to be raised up a little bit. Or I'll just try and let it warm up and then we'll see if it'll stay idling. But oh yeah! raise up that idle, and then it should idle on its own. Let's try this out. Alright, that should definitely be enough.
2,000 years later.
It's kind of acting like it's running out of fuel. So I'm gonna try and hit the carb again with the end of a screwdriver. Float might be stuck again. That tends to happen a lot. But once it gets running, everything and usually fixes itself right up. Alrighty, let's see if that did anything. There we go. Alright, it's idling. I don't want it to die again. Right now it's in the middle choke position for it to warm up. Man, this thing sounds crazy. Sounds like it's about to die though. I'll raise up that idle just a teeny bit, just for now. Ah, died. There we go. Right now it is running with the choke off, and when I rev it up, it either dies or revs up really high, so it kind of seems like a fuel issue or the floats keep getting stuck. I'm going to lean more towards fuel because there was some pretty old fuel in there, but there was barely any, so I just put new fuel on top of it, which I think I messed up doing that. So what I'm going to do right now, drain out the fuel real quick, put in some fresh fuel and see if it'll run better. If not, then I definitely think it is the floats getting stuck because it's acting like it has like not enough fuel for it. Let's get started with draining out that fuel and hopefully it'll make it better. Not a very long fuel line. Let's see how this fuel looks. It looks maybe a little bit dark, but nothing too bad. Kind of looks like that the fresh fuel I've put in is starting to come out. Alrighty, so here's the fuel that was in there. Doesn't look too bad. Kind of smells a little bit old, so I think it's definitely good that I'm taking this out. But now let's see what happens when I put in the fresh fuel. Alright. The fuel line is back on. Let's turn on the fuel again. Hopefully it'll run way better now. Definitely seems way better. So it is running way better. It is idling, pretty good now, but still when I rev it up it kind of likes to hang there, so I'm gonna let it idle a little bit, rev it every now and then. I'm gonna let it warm up and then I'll throw that thing in drive and see if maybe getting some airflow in it. And driving it around might help a little. Alright, so I've been running this thing for over and over again, trying to get it running better and better. But what I think I'm going to do is just throw it in drive, see what happens. Hopefully the throttle doesn't get stuck or anything. But I just want to see how it feels while it's driving, then maybe I can narrow down this problem. If it bogs at all, then we can determine if it's running rich or lean. And then we can begin to tune everything and diagnose our issue with it running not that great from there. Guys, so it's running not too bad. It's running way better than how it was before, but it just feels like it's like revving out like when I let off the gas, it's still revving. I don't know if that's like an automatic quad thing. I doubt it because it doesn't feel like safe. But I think running it and just getting it back up and going might, you know, fix that problem. I've had that issue with a couple other projects that I've had, and just letting it really just getting on it kind of gets it back into its rhythm. But I mean, let's see if it starts back up quick. It revs up high. I'm gonna try and lower down the idle a little bit more. All right, let's start it back up. That's pretty quick. All right, could have just been the idle screw, honestly. Still feels like it's revving out more. Yeah, see, it does that. So as you guys just saw, it does rev out more like than it should when you let off the gas. But also the idle could have just been, I could have, you know, turned it up when it was too cold. It wasn't warmed up enough, because usually you should tune the carb once the engine's all warmed up. So let's test it out just a little bit more. Just try and mess around with that carb a little bit to try and get it running as best as we can. Good thing we have reverse. Oh, it's stalled. I think the idle's a little bit too low now. Oh yeah, that's sick. Oh, here we go, little launch. That's actually pretty good for 125. This thing really isn't that bad. It feels like it's starting to run way better. All right, and it's still running. Sweet. So it's definitely feeling way better than how it was before. Driving it feels great. Just went into neutral when you rev it. Just that kind of staying in that RPM is a little weird, but I mean, it's really a nice quad. So guys, I've been riding around a little bit more, and it's really starting to get pretty good. It's idling really, really good right now. Now when you drive it, it doesn't really, you know, stay in that throttle area. Only when you're in neutral and rev it, it'll stay up there. But comment down below if you guys know if Yamaha breezes do that a lot, if when you rev it and you stay up there. I know a lot of you guys commented when I showed you guys when I got this that a lot of you guys have had Yamaha breezes before, so definitely comment that below. It'll be a nice help. I'm definitely impressed on how it's running. It sounds really, really good. I think the baffle is taking out the exhaust because it does not sound like a 125. So I just turned it off. I'm gonna let it cool all down now. First time in 5 years since this thing has been back up, and it's performing really good. Doesn't smoke at all, which is awesome, but I'm definitely really, really happy. So guys, comment down below what you guys think about the Yamaha Breeze. I think this thing sounds amazing. Does not sound like a 125. And it's got way more power than I thought it would have. When I did the first like full throttle thing on it, I was not bracing myself for like that much torque. I was not expecting that from this. So I definitely really, really like this quad. But this thing really isn't a project. It was just a quick get running and have fun with it, which we're definitely going to do. I'm going to try and bring this thing to the trails. I'm not sure if it'll fit back there, but I could definitely try it out and do its first ride on it. But like I said before, comment down below for all you Yamaha Breeze owners or past owners, if you guys know if that, you know, revving up issue has been with your quad. But anyway guys, stay tuned for videos with the NASCAR, the Supermoto build, which is coming, and a whole lot of more awesome videos to come. But anyway, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, tell your friends about the channel.